All right, so ready for a deep dive today?
Here.
We're taking a closer look at what it takes to be a civil service administrative officer. And I have a feeling, based on all these resources you've been checking out, that this is more than just a passing interest for you, really.
You hit the nail on the head. We've got these RoleCatcher excerpts, and let me tell you, they seem to cover it all. We're talking the ins and outs of the job, how to ace that interview, and even what your career path could look like if you decide to take the plunge into civil service.
It really does feel like a roadmap, doesn't it? Like a
Wow.
behind-the-scenes look at what a career in this field really entails. So let's jump right in. What does a civil service administrative officer actually do all day? Because RoleCatcher calls them the backbone of government departments, which honestly sounds pretty important.
It's absolutely crucial. Think of it this way. These are the people who keep those massive, complex government departments running smoothly. And when you look at the excerpts, you see the sheer variety of tasks they handle. Maintaining all those records, dealing with inquiries from the public, making sure information flows smoothly within the department. And on top of that, they're supporting senior staff and navigating that whole world of government procedures, which we all know can be a maze.
Okay, so we're talking more than just shuffling papers and answering phones here. But there's this phrase in the guide that caught my eye, something about ensuring a fluent internal flow of information. Honestly, it sounds a bit like it's straight out of a government manual. Could you break that down a little?
Sure, I can see how that might sound a bit jargony. Basically, it means being that crucial link in the communication chain. It's about making sure that the right information gets to the right people at the right time. And in a world of regulations and procedures, that's essential. Let's say a citizen requests some information, or a high-ranking official needs a specific document. The administrative officer is the one who makes sure that those requests are dealt with accurately and without any hiccups.
So attention to detail and a talent for organization are must-haves in this role, for sure. But now I'm curious about the bigger picture here, the realities of this career path, the good, the bad, and let's face it, the bureaucratic, because it seems like RoleCatcher doesn't shy away from any of it.
You're right, they're pretty upfront about the pros and cons. Job security is a major plus for a lot of people, and let's be real, in this day and age, that's a big deal. And then there's the potential to make a real difference in society. After all, you're directly involved in keeping essential services running smoothly.
Knowing you're making a positive impact is definitely a motivating factor. But let's not pretend it's all sunshine and roses. I'm guessing the B-word bureaucracy comes into play here.
It does. Working within a huge system like the civil service means dealing with bureaucracy, plain and simple. The guide acknowledges that things can move slowly, and sometimes those regulations can feel like you're caught in a web. If you're someone who thrives on being independent and thinking outside the box all the time, this might not be the right environment for you.
That's an important point, because even in a job where you feel like you're contributing to something meaningful, those day-to-day tasks could start to feel a bit repetitive, right?
Exactly. You have to be realistic about that aspect of it. But here's where things get interesting. RoleCatcher doesn't just give you this list of pros and cons and leave you hanging. They actually lay out potential career stages within this role, showing you there's actual room to grow. So you might start as an administrative assistant, but from there you could become an administrative officer, then a senior administrative officer, and eventually even a principal administrative officer.
So there's a chance to move up the ladder, take on more responsibility, maybe even lead a team. That paints a very different picture from that static desk job image some people might have.
And here's the really exciting part. It's not just about climbing that traditional career ladder. RoleCatcher emphasizes the possibility of specializing within civil service administration. You could become the go-to expert in records management or dive deep into the world of information services. There's actually room to create a niche for yourself based on what truly interests you.
All right, now this is sounding way more dynamic than I initially imagined. Let's say someone listening to this is intrigued and ready to dust off their CV. How does RoleCatcher help them actually land a job? Because they seem to be really into interview prep.
It's a core part of their approach, absolutely. They give you these tailored interview questions that are specific to this role. We're not talking about those generic tell me about your strengths questions. These are designed to get you thinking on your feet and show that you really understand what this job is all about.
Okay, give us a sneak peek. What kind of questions are we talking about?
Well, one that really stood out to me was, How would you prioritize your workload as a civil service administrative officer? That's all about gauging your ability to juggle multiple tasks, meet those deadlines, and stay organized even when things get a little crazy. And then there's another one. How would you handle a situation where a coworker wasn't meeting their performance expectations?
Wow. That one dives into your interpersonal skills and how you navigate tricky workplace dynamics, which can be a tightrope walk. So it's not just about having a general set of skills. It's about showing you can actually apply them within the specific context of a government department.
Exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher, as a platform, goes beyond just giving you career advice. They actually offer features, some free, some paid, that are designed to give you a leg up. Get this, we're talking AI-powered CV analysis. Yeah, they're really pushing the boundaries with this technology. It's pretty amazing how they're using AI to streamline the whole application process. But before we get lost in the tech weeds, how about we circle back to those career stages RoleCatcher outlined? I'm really curious about how the responsibilities change as you move up that ladder.
Yeah, those real-life examples they gave really bring it all down to earth. Let's start with that entry-level position, the administrative assistant.
Yeah.
What jumped out at you about that role?
Well, it's all about those foundational skills. Handling correspondence like a pro, keeping those meetings running like a well-oiled machine, making sure everyone's schedules are in sync. They're the ones working behind the scenes, keeping everything ticking along while supporting the whole team.
The glue that holds it all together, even if they're not calling all the shots just yet. So what happens when you take that next step? Become an administrative officer. How do the responsibilities shift?
This is where you start taking more ownership. It's not just about managing schedules anymore. It's about coordinating those bigger administrative processes, maybe even overseeing other support staff. The guide stresses the importance of being super organized and a clear communicator because you're becoming that central hub for information within your department.
And the example profile mentioned handling budgets and resources, right? That adds a whole other layer of responsibility.
Absolutely. You're not just following the rules at this point, you're starting to shape them. And then when you move up to senior administrative officer, those strategic thinking skills become even more critical. Now you're overseeing multiple departments, figuring out where things can be improved, and really digging into the data to help management make informed decisions.
It's like the guide said, you go from managing the day-to-day to shaping the future of the whole department. But I was surprised by how much they emphasized soft skills at that level.
Right. Being a whiz with spreadsheets and filing systems isn't enough anymore. You have to be a leader. The senior administrative officer profile specifically mentioned creating a positive work environment, leading a team effectively, even working with people outside the organization. Imagine having to resolve a conflict between two departments or negotiate a crucial partnership agreement. Those situations require some serious people skills.
So it's not just about understanding the technical side of administration. It's about that human element. You need a healthy dose of diplomacy and tact to handle those situations gracefully.
Exactly. And then you reach that peak, the principal administrative officer. They're the ones with the big picture vision, shaping the entire administrative strategy for the organization. They're working directly with top management, ensuring all those administrative functions align with the organization's goals, and they might even represent the organization to the outside world.
It's a far cry from handling mail and booking meeting rooms. It struck me how this role really highlights the connection between the administrative side of things and the overall mission of the organization.
It's not just about being efficient for efficiency's sake anymore. A principal administrative officer really needs to understand the organization's purpose, who they're serving, and how it all fits within the bigger picture. Their advisors, their advocates, their strategists, all rolled into one.
This has been eye-opening. We've talked about the human element of this career path, but we haven't really explored RoleCatcher's claim of using AI to revolutionize the job search. What exactly are they offering, and how revolutionary is it?
Well, their big selling point is this AI-powered CV analysis. You upload your resume and their algorithms get to work. They're scanning for those keywords, checking your formatting, and basically comparing everything to the specific requirements of the job you're going for.
So it's like having a digital magnifying glass, scrutinizing every little detail of your resume, looking for any weak spots or areas that could be better. That's kind of impressive, but also a little scary. What happens if the AI decides your resume just doesn't cut it?
Oh, it's not about passing or failing, don't worry. The way RoleCatcher works is they give you specific suggestions based on what the AI finds. Maybe you need to tweak the wording in certain sections to really highlight those transferable skills, or maybe your formatting isn't quite right for those applicant tracking systems. The whole point is to help your resume stand out from the crowd.
It's like having your own personal resume expert, But instead of charging you an arm and a leg, it's all powered by algorithms. They also mentioned something called life cycle management. What's that all about?
Okay, so imagine this. You have the central hub where you can keep all your job search materials organized. Different versions of your CV, tailored cover letters for each job you apply to, even notes from those networking conversations you've had. That's lifecycle management.
No more digging through endless folders on your computer, trying to find that one specific file. Everything is connected, easy to find, and totally organized. That's a dream come true for anyone who's ever felt buried under a mountain of paperwork during a job search. But let's talk about the practicalities here. Will using RoleCatcher break the bank?
Well, they use what's called a freemium model. So there's a free version that gives you access to a bunch of basic features like those helpful career guides we talked about and some job searching tools. But if you want to unlock the full power of their AI features, you'd need to go for their paid subscription.
That makes sense. Give you a taste of what they can do and hope you like it enough to sign up for the full package. So we've taken a deep dive into RoleCatcher and what it takes to be a civil service administrative officer. We've looked at all the different facets of the role, the potential career paths, even the technology that's shaking things up in the job market. What's the verdict? Ultimate career companion, or just another tool in the job seeker's belt?
It's a powerful tool, no doubt about it. The career advice they give is really insightful, and the AI features, while not some kind of magic solution, could give you a real edge in this competitive job market. Just imagine being able to tweak your application for each job you apply to, highlighting the skills and experience that are most relevant. That could be a game changer.
Like having a secret weapon, but for your career. But just like any tool, it's all about how you use it.
Exactly. RoleCatcher can do a lot. Analyze your resume, give you interview pointers, even keep you organized, but it can't replace that human touch. You still need to be able to sell yourself, connect with potential employers, and prove that you're the perfect person for the job.
So use the tools, but don't let them use you. It's all about that balance, leveraging the power of technology while still honing those core human skills that never go out of style. Well, on that note, we've come to the end of our deep dive into the world of the Civil Service Administrative Officer. We've explored the ins and outs of this multifaceted role, the exciting potential career paths, and even the cutting-edge technology transforming how we search for jobs. But now, it's your turn to take the reins. What resonated with you today? What new insights will you be taking away from this deep dive? Whether you're ready to polish up your CV, practice those interview skills, or simply explore a specific area of civil service that caught your attention, remember that knowledge is most powerful when you put it into action. So take that next step, and you might just find yourself on the path to a fulfilling and impactful career in civil service.